Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel, and I can probably say that I'm going to call this video Windows 10, the operating system that refuses to die. And there's several reasons for it. And somebody was asking me, said, "Why do you think people have not switched to a new version of Windows like they have in the past? Simply move on." And you know what? It's very different. And it's because of, and we can call it Microsoft's fault and also the user's fault. It's on both sides. It's the fact that we've got used to having, for a lot of people, a free ride to a new version of Windows that was functional from an old PC. We rarely had that occasion, that chance in the past when we had, say, I look at my experience. When I got, I had Windows 98 second edition, and I got that with a PC, which was a Pentium 300. I skipped Millennium on that machine and installed Windows XP. And so we're talking about the release of Windows XP somewhere, 2001? A Pentium 300, although not that bad, was, with a lot of RAM, because I had to extend the RAM. And that's also other things around it that make you go away from. I remember that HP Pentium 300 had a limit of 256 megabytes of RAM. And I couldn't install 512 megabytes because the motherboard wouldn't support it. So if it wasn't the speed, because it was running okay, it was the lack of memory to make it slow. And I moved on to a Pentium 4 that ran at 3 gigahertz and with hyper-threading and all of that to run Windows XP. So it made me move on with new hardware. And then we went on to Windows 7. And Windows 7 would run okay on a Pentium 4, at 3 gigahertz with hyper-threading. But, I then moved on to something with Core Duo machine and all of that, which suddenly made things a lot faster. And even though a lot of people did hang on to older PCs and accepted the fact it's slow on newer Windows, they kept it. In my case, I would like to game and do things like that, so I would move on to more powerful PCs. But you would see an improvement all the time. There was a definite improvement in every generation. But when we started getting around Windows 8, Windows, and then Windows 10, you started noticing that the operating system was very optimized, and that between a recent machine, a new machine, and an older machine, that gain of performance wasn't really there. Unless your PC was really old, where it did show signs of slowing down, a lot of PCs ran Windows 10 really well. And that perception of having a faster PC when you buy a new one wasn't as easy to see. And I did notice on the latest machines that I purchased, I moved on from an Acer Nitro to an Asus TUF gaming laptop, which is way more powerful. But yet, if you don't count the games, because on the games it's really a big difference, if you just count on using it as a standard Windows PC, I don't see a difference. People would not see a difference. And that's where you see that we've got into a point where, Windows just worked, and we didn't have to buy as much new hardware as we did in the past. And now we get to a point where Windows 11 asks us to do something that was normal in the times of Windows XP, and that's, you should buy a new PC for the new Windows. They kind of came back to an old tactic that let's push it so they sell hardware at the same time. Unfortunately, the fact that a lot of people were on their PCs that worked fine, that they didn't have to buy a new PC for a very long time, and the fact that PCs, a good PC is expensive, makes it harder for people to accept the move to have to buy something new while my PC works perfectly well. Well, that explains why Windows 10 refuses to die. And that explains the high percentage of market share still today, a year from the end. Not just the bashing of Windows 11, but the sheer wanting to keep my PC that does it very well, what I want to do, and I don't understand why I should spend hundreds of dollars for a new one, which is totally understandable. I've seen that so many times as a tech guy with hardware, going from Windows XP to Windows 7, and people are like, my printer doesn't work. Yeah, but it won't work anymore. You need to buy a new printer. Why? It worked fine before. Yeah, but the company decided no drivers for Windows 7. So, there's this sense of waste. I'll have to pay good, hard-earned money and let go of a perfectly working device. So, we got accustomed to that. And it's both Microsoft's fault for creating that and the user's fault for expecting that we should always have the same PC forever, which is, understandable in a way. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.